I'm 93 years old with osteoporosis, and this morning I lifted 25 pounds off the ground before the sun came up. No gym, no trainer. Just 2 bags of dog food and 11 hungry mouths waiting in the kitchen. Everyone asks what supplement I take. What miracle pill keeps me walking 3 miles a day with bones that doctors said would put me in a wheelchair by 80? I tell them the truth. 22 paws and an old gas stove? They laugh. But I'm not joking. My name is Ilara. And if you've got 5 minutes, I'll tell you how a pack of rescue mutts taught a widow with brittle bones how to keep living. My husband, Harlan, died in 1987. Coal miner's lungs. We lived in a creaky cabin in Harlan County, Kentucky. Fitting, I always thought, that the county shared his name. Like the land was holding on to him even after I couldn't. After he passed, the house went quiet. Not peaceful quiet. The kind that sits on your chest. I was 56. Shrugging off menopause like a bad dream. No family history of weak bones. My mama lived to 102, sturdy as an oak. I figured I'd be the same. Then one October morning I slipped on a wet leaf hauling firewood, and my hip cracked like dry kindling. The doctor in Lexington ran his scans, looked at me over his glasses and said, "Ilara, you got osteoporosis, thin bones." I'd spent my whole life chasing chickens and hauling water. I wasn't the fragile type. But there it was. Maybe you've heard words like that. Maybe you're hearing them now. That moment when your body becomes something you don't recognize. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not selling you anything. I don't have letters after my name or a lab coat in my closet. This is not medical advice. But I've lived 93 years. I've cracked bones and mended them. I've buried a husband and raised 11 dogs from strays. What I'm about to tell you is just what worked for one stubborn woman who refused to sit down. First thing I learned, find a reason to move that isn't about you. After Harlan died, I didn't want to get out of bed. What was the point? Empty house, empty chair across the table, empty side of the bed that still smelled like him for months. Then Buster showed up, scruffy mutt, one floppy ear, showed up begging scraps at my door like he knew I needed him more than he needed me. I started cooking for him, simple stuff, rice, lentils, a pinch of turmeric, old farmer's trick for joints. One dog became 2, strays turned to rescues. By the time I hit 70, I had 11. Buster, Daisy the beagle with her soulful eyes. Max the lab who still thinks he's a lapdog at 90 pounds. Scout, Pepper, Rusty, Luna, Finn, Willow, Jax. And little Tinker, the runt who steals socks like it's her job. They don't care about my diagnosis. They don't care that my bones are thin or my joints ache on rainy days. They want breakfast. And they want it at 5 a.m. So I get up every single morning, rain or shine. Because Buster's eyes don't take no for an answer. They never have. That's the secret nobody tells you about staying mobile. You need a reason that doesn't let you negotiate. Something that needs you whether you feel like it or not. For me, it's 11 furry reasons with wagging tails. Second thing, turn what you already do into strength training. After my second fracture, vertebral crack in my 70s from bending wrong in the garden, I knew I needed to build muscle. Something to cradle these bones, but I wasn't about to join a gym. I got a gas stove and a stubborn streak, that's enough. So I started doing sumo squats while chopping vegetables, wide stance, low and slow, holding the counter for balance. I do planks against the kitchen counter while the rice boils. Nothing fancy, just holding myself up and breathing. And those dog food bags, 25 pounds each, I lift them off the floor every morning, slow, controlled, set them on the counter. That's my deadlift. A neighbor once told me about a woman named Jenny. Heard her on the radio. 70-something years old doing ninja warrior competitions. I thought, if she can do that, I can lift a bag of kibble. So I do, every single day. No excuses. The doctors wanted me on Fosamax, tried it. Upset my stomach something fierce. I tapered off after one cycle. Instead, I leaned into what felt right. Movement that had purpose. Qigong breathing from a library book. Slow twists that ease the stiffness without jarring anything loose. I'm not saying don't listen to your doctor. I'm saying listen to your body too. It knows things. Third thing, cook something that matters. Every morning at 5 a.m., I'm at that stove. Same gas burner I've used for 30 years. Same cast iron pot. Brown rice boiled soft. Lentils. Ground chicken scraps from the butcher. He saves them for me now, knows I'm coming every Tuesday. A dash of turmeric. And bone broth I simmer every Sunday from market bones. The steam rises like morning fog. The dogs circle like sharks. The smell fills the whole cottage. Buster eats first, always. He's earned it. Then the rest, one by one. I walk each bowl out to the yard, portion by portion. Watch them wolf it down with tails going like windshield wipers. That walking back and forth, that's my therapy. Keeps my legs strong. Keeps my core working. Keeps my mind from wandering to dark places. I eat the same things they do, mostly. Added 6 prunes a day. Keeps things moving and gives me boron for the bones. Small changes. Nothing fancy. Feeding them feeds me. That's not poetry. That's just how it works. I still think about that night after Harlan died. The house so quiet I could hear my own heartbeat. I crawled into bed alone for the first time in 34 years. And Buster, that scruffy mutt I'd only known a few weeks, jumped up and curled into the empty space on Harlan's side. Didn't ask permission. Just settled in like he belonged there. Grief makes tiny cuts. Hundreds of them. You don't even notice you're bleeding until one day you realize you've stopped. Buster didn't fix me. But he gave me a reason to get up the next morning. And the morning after that. 93 years of mornings now. I still miss Harlan every single day. I talk to his photo when the dogs are sleeping. But I'm not waiting to die anymore. That's the difference. Falls still happen. Wet sidewalk got me last year. I use a 4-prong cane on slick days now. Cleared every rug out of the house. Scan the ground like I'm looking for landmines. Bones may bend, but love, the kind that needs you, the kind that won't let you quit, that builds you back stronger than calcium ever could. So if you're sitting there with a diagnosis that feels like a sentence, if someone just told you your bones are thin, or your body is failing, or your best years are behind you, I'm not going to tell you it's easy. It's not. But you're not fragile. You're just looking for your reason. Find your pack, furry or otherwise. Find something that needs you tomorrow. Let that thing pull you out of bed when your own will won't do it. That's not weakness. That's the smartest thing I ever did. Now, my niece Sana's daughter, sweet girl, knows everything about the internet. She watched me peck this out on the computer and laughed, said, "Auntie Alara, you'll never get 1,000 people to care about an old lady and her dogs." I looked at her and said, "Sweetheart, I've outlived 2 hip fractures, a husband, and a doctor who said I'd be in a wheelchair by 80. I can outlive her predictions too. So, If you want to help an old woman prove a 26-year-old wrong, well, you know what button to press. One last thing before I go stir the pot, and I mean that literally. It's almost 5 a.m. What's your reason to get up tomorrow? Just one word. Drop it below. Sometimes that's how it starts. One word, one dog, one stubborn decision to keep moving. Now, if you'll excuse me, Buster's giving me that look. Breakfast waits for no one, not even brittle bones. Take care of yourselves.